Welcome back to Resin Chaos, where I keep trying nonsense because I have no idea when to give up. This is the set that we did yesterday in the slate blue and black, and I'm just giving it a blasty blast in our Elegoo cure station. The jaw, on the other hand, is going to go in the eMake 3D bacon cure station because it is way bigger, and this machine actually cures phenomenally well. So, bye. It's so fun to watch. It's ridiculous. And here's the dice. So as you can see, it did start marbling. I don't think the black resin is as black as they say it is. It's more like light black, if that's even a thing. But it did a thing. So today what I thought I would do is start out with a light solid and a clear translucent red and add a black to that. So on the left, I am just pouring a black standard resin. And then on the right, we're just kind of doing little drops to see what randomly happens, and if it's going to make it super milky and how fast it's going to do that process. Of course, I clean up my machine and then it fails on the right. But luckily with the Photon P1, I can actually independently go into the right side and say, nah, don't print that anymore. That one's an oopsie. Let's go check outside. Gross, 5 feet of snow, go away. All right, machine is completely cleaned up. Let's try this again. So I decided to do something a little differently. We're going to mix a quote unquote bone color resin that we're going to use for our gradient milky swirl. Now that we have that mixed up, let's take our red. We're going to pour it on the right side. And then on the left, I'm going to use Sunlu's ABS-like resin. I haven't been able to play this one, so let's cast some master dice again on the left side. Now at about layer 2, I had an epiphany and realized that my speeds were way too high for it to not completely mix the resins as I'm pouring in there. So I'm going to add more base layers, then I'm going to cut the time by 50%. So I think it was only like 1.5 seconds. Then what I'm going to do is just put little droplets on the plate itself and let it fall over the sides to see if I can keep it from aggressively blending. Now I did try a new strategy for this. I lifted my prints up by 1 centimeter so they were off the build plate, so the build plate would have enough gap at the top not to touch the bottom and hopefully mix those resins in harsher than what I was doing before. It was almost like a spatula versus what I'm doing now, which would only be contact and swirled from the tiny dice that I put in there. So I wanted the bottom of the teeth to have a solid bone structure to them. So I'm adding a lot more of that bone, and I'm hoping that I can get that solid half point so it matches the jawline. Now for the moment of truth, I can't even stress this enough. Please wear gloves. Please wear a mask. This stuff is toxic and it burns and it hurts. I can't even tell you how giddy I was at this point because just off the bat on the right side, I can see that I do have marbling happening. I can't see all of it because of the supports, but I did get the bottoms to match the jaw that I'm going to make. So I'm super giddy about this and I couldn't wait to get the plate off. So I pop one out so you can actually see there is a milky swirl inside of the quote unquote blood part of the tooth. So what we're going to do is pop these all off and give you a little bit of ASMR while we clean up the plate. Okay, these ones aren't in color, but these are masters for some rock dice, some math rocks. They came out really great. Now it's time to add everything to the washing station. I'm using non-toxic model wash from 3D Printing Canada. I love this stuff. It's so efficient. It does get a second swirly bath in 99% IPA, and this is what it looks like. I'm super happy with the process. You can see the milky marbling works really well when used to go from a clear to a opaque resin. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is instead of cutting that bone, we're just going to continuously add a drop or two of resin throughout the entire print at 15-minute intervals.